Hey guys, welcome Web 1. My name's Eric. I'm a UML alumni. I graduated in 2004. I've been working as a professional web designer for 15 years. Sorry I couldn't be in class, traveling to California, going up the coast, seeing the Redwood Forest. Really looking forward to that. But I wanted to give you an overview of the course and what you could expect this semester. The first student project is going to start with building a mobile app and prototyping that app. You'll actually be able to pick your own project, and by the end of this project, be able to view a prototype of your actual app on your phone using some prototyping tools that I'll teach you. Last semester we had some really great student ideas for apps. One student built this fantastic podcast discovery app. Another student built this social platform for skiers and snowboarders to connect and ride together. Your homework this first week is to come up with an idea and think about an app that you'd want to build as your student project. If you need some inspiration, I'll put a link below to a site that has ideas for like startup companies. If it's a huge app idea, we could carve it out so that it's just a portion of the app that you'll build for the purpose of the project. So think about that. Come back next week and everyone will share their idea with the class and maybe help evolve it and improve it if we can. The second student project is actually designing and coding an actual website. While this is primarily a design course, I think that's a foundational understanding that's going to benefit you long term, but also make you a better designer, so that when you hand off your beautiful homepage design or mobile app design to a real developer, you have some consideration for what that person is going to have to do to make that real. So I think there's some really good benefits for you to learn some code, but I didn't want to focus the whole course on that. It's no surprise that the web industry has exploded over the last decade with all the new technology that we have. And as a result, there's a ton of design jobs in the industry. So I want to show you what kind of career paths you could have and what's possible in the field. All right, so now let's dive into the syllabus and the outline for the semester. So the first 2 weeks we'll focus mostly on classroom lectures introducing web design. The first one will be just a brief look back, assessment of today, and where the industry is going, and sharing those perspectives with you. The early web, it was a really horrific time. This Yahoo site, it really speaks to that. It was, we had two browsers. Resolutions were like 640 by 480. There weren't any design principles that we were following on the web. We're kind of making it up as we went. Luckily, it's come a long way. The future, though, is really interesting. There's a couple things happening right now, and one of them that is not yet mainstream, but is progressive web apps, and this really transforms the way that we think about a web experience through a browser versus a mobile app experience. And again, I think reiterates the importance of doing touch design in this Web 1 class, because those lines are blurring more and more every day. I want to show you guys some of the paths as a web designer, but also show you what it means to transition to be a web developer and the sort of skills that you need to go down that path. And then most importantly, digital experiences are about people, not technology. You've probably heard the term user experience design or human-centered design. And those are really important concepts for us to think about. And I want to share with you how we design for people and think about their values and behaviors and their needs and their context, and building experience that are easy to use and useful. Next up is a student project I described earlier, building a mobile app. It'll take us about 4 to 5 weeks, and we're going to follow this process here, starting with discovery. In the discovery process, this is when we figure out who are we designing for, what are we building, why is this useful, and that will be done in a project brief. The next step is then defining the user experience, and this will be in the form of wireframes. So we'll take a look at the needs that we identified in the project brief, and then start ideating how we would design that experience on a phone. What are the screens that you need? What's the flow that a user's going to take? We'll cover all that, and there's assignments for that stuff. Then we get into the really fun part where it's actually designing this experience. So we've crafted it, we've defined it, and now we're going to apply a logo and color and type and inject a personality into your app. Finally, it's prototyping your app, and we're going to use Sketch. You could use XD too. Adobe XD is, I don't have as much experience using it, but frankly, I'm very tool agnostic. And then finally is testing or usability testing. Does this app actually work as I expected it to work? Are people getting hung up on things? While we're not going to focus too much on usability testing, I did want to do a lecture around it and maybe just doing in-class exercise one day. This is an app a student built last year, and you'll be able to create something like this semester. You'll see it looks just like a real app, and in fact this will display on your mobile phone. And this example is showing inside of a browser. The second project is going to be designing a marketing website for your app. We'll do a streamlined process this time. Since we've already done some of the discovery work in the mobile app, we'll just focus on doing user experience design, visual design, and actually development in HTML and CSS. And here's another example from the same project of an actual website that he built promoting his mobile app. And this is all HTML and CSS, so this is actually real text, real background images, and it's even responsive. So when you bring down the screen, you'll see that it responds down to a size for a mobile phone. All right, so finally, this is going to be our class website. The first tab is all the learning modules I just described. As I give lectures, I'll post PDFs up here so you can download them and view them outside of class. Also, look at these resources for the assignments as we're going through them. Some of them I'll pull out and show in class, but these are going to be really helpful resources for you and give you further understanding from other people's perspective. Two things I wanted to point out for the course syllabus is most of your grade will be based on projects and presentations. Participation in critiques and class discussions, that's an important skill. If you get a job as a designer, you're going to be collaborating all the time. So I highly suggest coming to every class. While I'll post up all of the lectures and details about the assignments, seeing it firsthand in class and watching me go through that stuff is going to make your life so much easier. So just come to class. You'll be able to submit assignments or resubmit assignments at any time in the course. So if you want to improve your grade for an assignment, resubmit it and we'll reevaluate it. Finally, if anyone has a disability, please reach out to Student Services and they can accommodate any kind of assistive technologies that you may need. All right, that's all I got. Looking forward to the semester and teach you guys a bunch of stuff. I'll see you next week. Pick an app idea. Peace.